Sunrise Smart Start, no suspects in custody after yet another fatal shooting in Rochester. Police say there have now been 29 homicides this year alone.
Police responding most recently here to the corner of Genesee Street and Sawyer Street for the report of multiple shots fired. This was last night around 7. When they got there, they found a man in his early 20s with multiple gunshot wounds. He later died at the hospital. Now, investigators say multiple people were involved in this fatal shooting. Officials say officers can't solve these crimes alone.
Each one of these homicides is one phone call away from being able to make an arrest and put the people responsible for the killing and the shooting in jail. One phone call away. We need people to call us up. My investigators can only do so much.
Well, police say this fatal shooting took place right down the street from another fatal shooting just last weekend. There, an 18-year-old was killed and a 14-year-old also shot. If you have any information about either of these fatal shootings, you're asked to call 911.
One man sent to the hospital after a shooting overnight in Rochester. Police say a 27-year-old arrived at the hospital by private vehicle with a gunshot wound to the lower body. We're told he is in stable condition. Officers say the man was shot on West Ridge Road. No suspects in custody. The investigation is ongoing. Well, this weekend brings the celebration for Juneteenth, the commemoration marking the end of slavery. And with June 19th now a federal holiday, there's more to celebrate.
Joined this morning by Washington correspondent Jesse Tenor once again. Jesse, good morning. Good to see you. What led to this day finally becoming a federal holiday?
Depending on who you ask, some people point back really to the 1800s itself when Abraham Lincoln signed the Emancipation Proclamation in 1863, but then that word not making it to enslaved people in Texas until nearly 2.5 years later. And then decades and decades, there's been a fight to try to recognize this day. They even had some of the members who have been instrumental at the White House yesterday, some even in their 80s and 90s. And so it was definitely a big day for them. And this is really kind of a day for action as well. That's what President Joe Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris were really calling on the country to do at the signing yesterday. Harris will actually be in Atlanta today. She'll be touring certain vaccination sites, talking about racial equity when it comes to being vaccinated for COVID-19. And she'll also be having voting rights discussions while there as well. That's another major topic, too, that people are pointing to, saying we still need to move forward.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit about how social justice movements in the past year contributed to this holiday.
Yeah, that was definitely something, too, that President Biden and Vice President Harris brought up as well, saying that really until last year, many Americans didn't really even know what Juneteenth was. And so this racial reckoning that's been happening since the death of George Floyd is really kind of shedding a light on all of this, they say, and they're hoping that really it can kind of continue to build momentum for their certain priorities.
Much for that. Historically, Juneteenth marks the day in 1865 when Union General Gordon Granger arrived in Texas to inform slaves they'd been freed.
Of course, people all over the country and here locally in Rochester reacting to the news that June 19th is now a federal holiday.
Erica Cost joining us live with local reaction and much more about what's going on here. Good morning, Erica.
Good morning, Leanne. For the town of Irondequoit, this is the second official celebration in the town for their residents for Juneteenth. I spoke to town councilwoman Patrina Freeman, who tells me it's fairly new for some and people want to get involved in any way they can, no matter race, ethnicity, or religion. So how do you do that? Freeman says just come out and have fun, celebrate the music, games, stories of African American culture.
We like to look at this as being a living classroom where we can teach not only about Irondequoit, but also about our collective history as Americans. It evolved this year. We have vendors this year. We have musical performances. We have young people have a whole 30-minute section that they're going to be doing original spoken word.
And Freeman says the signing into law has been emotional for some, including herself. She says this is a part of who she represents in the community as an African-American woman, and she's thrilled to be sharing this with others as well. In Irondequoit, Erica Cost, News 8.
All right, Erica, thank you for that. These free events in Irondequoit happening tonight at 6 o'clock at the Town Hall gazebo.
Of course, we're talking about tonight at 6 o'clock. That brings in the forecast. How is this day shaping up? Not a bad start, James. Certainly at this hour, nice as folks head out the door.
Very comfortable. Temperatures right now around 60 degrees, but you should notice the difference, and that difference could potentially mean showers and maybe a thunderstorm. Don't think it's going to happen this morning, but watch out by lunchtime. The kiddos may want a rain jacket with them as they wrap up this week, getting close to the end of the year. Temperatures this afternoon do likely get into the 70s. I've got the Father's Day forecast coming up at the end of the show.
All right, James, thank you. Time now for another check of the roads with our sunrise traffic. Continuing the trend all morning. It's been a good morning on the roads. 390, 490 you see here from our view downtown, and 590, all the main arteries on time at this hour.
The driver of the car that collided with an ambulance yesterday in Rochester is expected in court later this morning. 19-year-old Jamila Evans is charged with DWI and vehicular manslaughter after crashing into an ambulance on Central Park and North Goodman Street. It happened around 1:30 in the morning. Rochester police say Evans drove through a flashing red light without stopping. That ambulance was on its way to a medical call and was not carrying any patients. The two paramedics inside were not seriously injured. One passenger in Evans's car, 23-year-old Autumn Johnson, was killed and another passenger injured.
Seth Larson, the man who is accused of murdering Lisa Schuler last month in Irondequoit and pictured here, will be brought back to Monroe County today. He was being held in Lewis County, West Virginia, where he was arrested after a 10-day search. Schuler's remains were found in the front of her home on Culver Road and at Durand Lake in Irondequoit. Larson attended an extradition hearing earlier this month in West Virginia.
One teenager is dead after drowning in a creek in the town of Pembroke. The Genesee County Sheriff's Office says 18-year-old Jacob Minnick died yesterday afternoon after jumping into the Tonawanda Creek at Indian Falls. Deputies say Minnick jumped into the water around 3:45 and never resurfaced. His body was eventually pulled from the water, and he was pronounced dead at the scene.
Well, a Rochester woman has been arraigned after being charged with killing her 3-month-old daughter. Officers say 38-year-old Mabel Enid Rosado Delgado brought her baby to Rochester General Sunday. The child had a skull fracture and later died. Rosado Delgado is charged with second-degree murder, is being held without bail as well. She appeared virtually in court yesterday and pleaded not guilty to the charges. A preliminary hearing is coming up June 22nd. However, a grand jury could vote on this case prior to that. Time now for a check of the GRE Morning Business Report. More than a third of Americans say they found at least one error on their credit report. That according to new data mined from Consumer Reports. The most common mistake, personal information like the wrong name or address. But errors about account information also popped up. Why is this important? Mistakes on your credit report can impact your credit score.
Well, a dad-approved combo just in time for Father's Day. Miller Lite and New Balance merging hops with kicks to create the Shoe Z. The ultimate dad shoe comes with as a simplified sneaker that's snug enough to hold your favorite brew and keep it cold. The Cozy Collab isn't for sale just yet, though. 50 will be given away in select states. You can submit an entry for one on Father's Day coming up on June 20th. Is that something you would want?
I don't know about that. I think I've got it covered.
The homemade card from the kids instead.
All right, to our family first segment this morning. Father's Day is Sunday, of course, and many are trying to plan that special weekend for dads.
Yeah, you have so many options locally. If your dad is into history, you might want to take him to the Genesee Country Village this weekend. Dads are free Sunday. If he loves classic cars, there's a classic car show in Canandaigua at Sonnenberg Gardens. If he's into rockets and space, you can check out the National Warplane Museum in Geneseo, or maybe go see a baseball game.
The Red Wings are in town. They're in town up through on Sunday afternoon at 1:05 game. That's the perfect thing to do with Dad. If you're into a low-key afternoon of food and music, head to La Marqueta at Rochester's new International Plaza up on North Clinton. They have a family Zumba class at 2 p.m. too.
There's nothing to do around here. Other events this weekend, you can pick strawberries at local farms, and if Dad likes the zoo, it is World Giraffe Weekend at the Seneca Park Zoo.
How about that?
If you missed any of these suggestions, because there are so many, we're going to have it for you on our website, rochesterfirst.com. And happy Father's Day to both of you.
Hey,
Thank you.
Thank you. Hey, you know, keeping with that Father's Day theme, we've got our Father's Day photos we wanted to share with you as well this morning. I think we've got those teed up here.
Yep.
This is me and my brother with my father celebrating his 80th birthday 2 years ago.
Nice.
This was taken in Newport, Rhode Island, and it was a terrific celebration, certainly a great day to remember, and certainly a happy Father's Day to my dad as well, and my brother is a father as well.
A happy Father's Day to all three of you. Yes, in a beautiful spot there. This is my dad. Can't say enough great things about him. He watches the show every morning, by the way.
Yes.
So,
oh, cool.
Thanks for watching, Dad, and happy Father's Day, and thanks for all you do and the example, the great example you set.
Yeah,
we appreciate
happy Father's Day.
Nice. My dad is, he's out in Seneca Falls, beautiful Seneca Falls. This is a bit of a throwback here of Halloween circa sometime in the 1990s. My mom made the dino suit, and our dad was the one who took us out to go trick-or-treating. He's Frankenstein there, obviously much taller than us. You know, I was hoping that I would get his height. He's about 6'3". I am 6 foot, so I couldn't quite get there.
Yeah, that is a scary-looking
Great
group
dad
there.
moment there, James.
Such a great dad
good memory.
moment. Yeah, thanks, Dad, for everything you've done for us, and happy Father's Day to you. So, look, this weekend, I think it really should be a nice weekend for you, so get out there and enjoy it. Sunday, the better day.
Happy Father's Day to all you dads out there, and thanks for watching News 8 at Sunrise.
Our next update in 30 minutes. CBS This Morning is up next. Have a great day.
Follow News 8 wherever you are on RochesterFirst.com, Facebook, Twitter, and on our app for news and weather.